Okay, welcome to another episode of Let's Get Creative podcast, and I'm your host cyancong from cyancong Videos. Welcome again. Today is quite a chill session. I wanted to kind of do a solo one. Instead of having a random topic, I would just like to kind of do like an update slash like a lifestyle podcast. If you are listening for X amount of time, please drop me a DM. Tell me how many times you have listened to this podcast. I hope you have enjoyed thus far of this kind of like a business lifestyle kind of conversational thing with various guests that I kind of plug in here and there. Sometimes with Q&A. I'm just testing out different ways that I could do this podcast. And I hope you are entertained in some sort of ways and means. But today is really chill. Just kind of do like a quick update on this whole live stream thing that I did. I shift my Let's Get Creative podcast into a live stream. I've been testing out here and there. It's been season 3 already. If you don't really know. We have tried the live stream thing and it kind of down a little bit. Like I can tell people is sort of, I'm not sure whether you guys are facing it, but it's having some sort of like a live stream burnout. Unless it's really valuable live stream. It feels like because it's so easy to tap into another live space or like a live stream space, people tend to kind of become a little bit taking it for granted, and most of them are free, so it gives them a reason not to go. Or it's easier to kind of shake it off and just say that, oh, I signed up, and I don't know whether if I'm right, do let me know, or maybe I'm just ignorant. People will just go or sign up and feel like they are attending something, but if they don't go, they don't feel the pinch because there's no backlash for that if you don't attend. At most, you're just like a dropout rate. So the average dropout rate for people that sign up online, if you don't know, is about 50%. So if there is like 30 people that sign up for your live stream, most likely you're gonna get like 15 if there's 30. So but it's really normal. It's been like a norm for live streams. I've been hosting it for quite a bit for the past 6 months. I'm not sure how you guys are feeling right now. This is the last quarter of 2020. I hope you guys are doing really well. If not, do drop me a DM and see how I can best help you with your whichever business you're doing. If you're a solopreneur, most likely you are here because you're a solopreneur. You're just doing your own marketing. I think that is something that this live stream or this podcast is really about. I will still steer towards educational lifestyle. I'll just add a little twist in terms of having my own voice into certain situations that I feel that could help you. So take it as a pinch of salt. This is the current update of Let's Get Creative podcast. In terms of my own business. If you guys not sure, if you guys are listening to me for the very first time, welcome again. I'm actually a video editor. You can call me anything. I'm really I'm just a man with a lot of hats. I'm a businessman. You can call me a businessman. I'm an editor. I'm a director. I'm a producer. I'm a sound man. I'm a rig guy. So basically anything production seems to be under my forte, and of course this year I added with digital marketing, so you can call me like a digital marketing specialist or a consultant. I feel like this year has been like really teaching people and educating and equipping yourself with the live streaming skills or live stream or video marketing ability. But talking about video marketing, because I have 2 businesses, right? One after the other. This second quarter or this second half of the year, I'm actually focusing, or me and my wife actually is focusing a lot on heart to heart. So if you don't know what's heart to heart, it's actually me and my wife actually created this wedding brand. I'm really testing out a lot of things with that brand. Really mainly on video marketing. That's what I've been taught. Adding all the digital marketing elements inside the brand has been really helpful. I mean, of course, with the help of ad money, it speeds up the whole process of like reaching out to new potential couples for next year. We plan a little bit for this year, but our ultimate goal is still looking for next year's couple, and we are just trying to assign as many couple as we can to hit our 16 couples goal for 2021. So we are at least for me, I'm a very metric person. At least for business wise, I need numbers to work. So, and wedding is much more easier to calculate in terms of revenue as to compare to corporate side. Partly also because we are growing heart to heart. So this year and next year is really just about brand exposure. So we can still increase the price for next year, knowing that there will be a demand. But you also have to kind of understand the psychology of it. If you are targeting on the couples that you want or the clients that you want, you should also aim to sign them quick. When I say signing them quick, it's more of like get in touch with them, understand what is their problem, and really navigate with them and see how you could be the one for them for next year. I think that applies to business also. It doesn't just apply for weddings, but this is our goal for that right after 10/10. We actually did the promo. We did sign 3 couples after that promo started. So in terms of the promotional expenses, it's been fully covered. In fact, we are earning revenue from there, but that's not the end of it. I felt like building a brand takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And like what I've teach all my students in the past is you really need to understand the organic reach first before you can dream about doing a paid ad. Because if your organic reach is not doing well, or if you're not practicing the normal do's and don'ts for Instagram, Facebook, you will struggle in the ad space. Because unless your ad is really, really well, like that one ad is really like thriving and all, or unless you have a very, very strong sales funnel, chances of you getting the client based on that one video is really hard, unless you have one of the like a combination of good things, like maybe you have a very good copy with a very good video with a very good sales funnel. Then maybe you could convert them with like just one system. But a lot of the entrepreneurs out there, or a lot of business owners, actually have like ABC tests. But if you don't know what's ABC test, it's really just like a couple of system that is planted out to maybe to a landing page or to Instagram or Facebook. They'll use this kind of thing to kind of test out which of the spaces or the social media space or the behavior of the customers work well. And if they test out and they feel that okay, the public seems to bite on maybe advertisement B, then maybe they should pump more money into it. But you have to study how the number of clicks and the conversion before you can make such decision lah. So that is what what I'm actually doing for Heart to Heart. It's gonna be another whole year of promoting and publicizing, working with vendors, but has been really, really helpful by exposing our brand to different brands, to other people's brand, and to kind of like cross market to other brands. I felt that the vendor relationship that we built for this year, it really, really helps us have a better standing in terms of how couples kind of see us as. And it's kind of nice to work with other creators also. Other creators that value this kind of cross-marketing scheme and ability to be able to appear on social media as much as you can. But of course, with your own comfort. But there will be days that you have to create content when you are not on par. Like maybe you're just not in the mood. I felt like this is one of those episodes where it's quite real. When I say real, it's like you can treat this as like a theory lesson, or for me it's really very soothing to really speak to you guys, whoever that's listening or watching this. I just felt like sometimes sharing this kind of business thoughts, this kind of like thought process of how I function actually works for me. It's very therapeutic, it's very zen. I'm not sure whether you guys are one of them, but this is just one of those ways where I still want to create in my comfort zone where I don't feel very taxing, it's not like 3 cameras and lightings and all, but this is just purely just me chatting with you, just one camera and just one mic, and just wanted to kind of convey this message to motivate you guys. This is like the last quarter. I hope you guys are really hustling through this COVID season, because next year the whole playing field will be very different. Business will resume, and bigger players actually will benefit in terms of how much budget they have for their marketing. So I always have this personal belief, like marketing, networking, and like training, these 3 things will never ever fade away, because you really need these elements inside your business in order for them to thrive. I felt that this is those kind of golden code where I feel that I've been living with that motto for quite a bit, and I have seen the result of that thus far. You might feel like at this moment it's like, nah, it doesn't really, it's just waste a lot of time creating this kind of thing, and it's just gonna be a dread doing. Then you just feel like you're not earning numbers or sales, and I find this mentality is a very bad habit for a lot of the business owners, the older generation ones. Sorry if I offend you, but I feel like a lot of the older generation business owners, they are not open to do that. They just want to be in their comfort zone and create togetherness. If the numbers make sense, if the metric numbers make sense, I mean, there'll be a more practical way of like, if I could gain sales from it, then I will do. Or if not, it's like, if there's money, then I will be involved. But a lot of the old generation, they don't get that. New generation, when they are approaching you for a certain business, or they want to kind of build trust, a lot of the trust is actually gained through social media, and it's not even like face to face yet, and they can't even get that to gain trust. How could they face you face to face, like to gain the trust you face to face, if you didn't even give them a chance to know you before they meet you? And this is something that is very lack of. When I'm sharing these kind of ideas to the older generation, they just feel like I must be joking, or they feel like I'm like wasting their time, not teaching the real thing about video marketing. But I feel like a lot of this kind of out of video marketing aspect is like, as a business owner, is a very strategic thing, are missing from them. And they just, some of them of course became my student and want to embrace that change. But it really takes a strong discipline to be able to do that. So anyway, talking about education, I actually have 6 students. Not bragging or anything. I guess 6 students is like 6 students is really very little. But I'm really proud of them. Every single one of them actually went for my course. Be it whether they still continue to pursue being be able to create for themselves. I think end of the day, I'm just teaching them how to fish. Be a fisherman instead of buying from someone the fish. You could fish for yourself, and this is ultimately what I want from them. Is to be able to be self-sustaining without losing so much money. Though out of 6, I feel like 2 of them is really like on the ball and ready to create and go. The last 2 students that sign up with me, I'm like super proud of them. Because this week will be the last week of the course for my second batch, and they really had a lot of good content in mind. They just need to kind of have the structure from me to be able to be strategic when they are posting and they're creating, and I feel like that clarity really motivates them to go one step ahead, as to compare to when they just started and they have like tons of ideas, but it's all over the place with no research, no nothing, and they expect things to work from there. I think that is one of those like no lah. Especially when I work with like quite a couple of brands that are also trying to do that for themselves. Yeah, so that's for education. On the technical side, if you are watching as a techie person or a camera person or basically anything under the sun in terms of media and production, during COVID, I actually managed to buy my first full frame. If you don't know what's full frame, if you are like a non-media, non-digital person, maybe you are just like, nah, I'm just here for the business. Feel full frame is actually a camera that is a lot better than the current one that I'm using, or I would say the previous version, which is now my B camera. Anyway, fun fact: if like this camera right now is actually called the A camera. Usually those side view ones, like maybe shoot at the side or the close-ups, those are called B cameras. So usually this is my workhorse, my bread and butter. The moment I got this, the next day, is it 2 days later? 2 days later, it went for its first full job, like a full day shoot. And it worked so well. I have praises for that, and I really want to create an episode just for that, or like a review. I know I'm like super late in the A7 III, it's called A7 Mark III review. I feel like everybody now is like raving with A7S III, but I don't see anything bad about A7 III as to compare to his older brother, the newest A7S III. I know it's like, wow, there's a lot of things that's inside, blah blah blah. Yes, it's really good. But I feel that as an APS-C user, or the one that is a predecessor of A7 III, I really appreciate the change though. Like, I appreciate the battery life. I really appreciate all the technical side of things. And okay, in a more layman way, I feel that a better way would say, where everybody in this podcast will understand, is imagine you are on a wheelchair, or imagine you are on a clutches. That is how I'm shooting with that. So imagine you are like walking around with that. Then now you are able to walk for yourself. You have 2 working feet, and now you have the freedom to just roam around. You really will appreciate because of that limitation that you had previously, and now you have the freedom to do so. That's how I feel about having a full frame camera. I don't want to dwell into that. I feel that it deserves its own like review session. I think I'm just crazy over technical stuff. If I'm going to go technical, it's going to be like all day long. But I'm just saying that, yeah, I understand why people go full frame and don't go back to APS-C. It's just crazy that it took me so long to be able to go to full frame. But for the people that can't afford full frame, or consider going full frame, if you are a hobbyist, or maybe you're just an entrepreneur, just started or something, don't ever buy a full frame if you don't know how to use the feature. Or you have to ask yourself, do you actually use it? If the answer is no, APS-C fits the bill. I'm a very practical person, by the way. I have a list like whether I want to get it and the justification of doing it or doing so. Yeah, so I'll write down everything. So to me, it's very simple what I will need and what I wanted. If the needs are more than the wants, then I would buy the product. As simple as that. If it can shortcut my workflow, even better, I'll get that. And this basically A7 III really check all the boxes. In fact, most of the boxes. Of course, it has its like downs and like not very pleasant side of things, but it still wins the APS-C. Like it, no matter how bad it sounds, like 1 or 2 things that is not good about A7 III, my APS-C seems to do a ton better in a worse way. So seeing that you appreciate the Sony system much better. Like for people that just go straight to like the best of the best, like you wouldn't appreciate the features because it's just like, oh, you should have it. Like, oh, if you're gonna charge $2,000 plus for this camera, oh, you should have it. But for people that started with like an iPhone and go straight to a full frame, then you'll be like, oh my god, the change is so big, you have so much freedom, you can do so much things. I think because from that perspective, you feel like, oh, okay, you can see all the good about it, instead of like when once you start investing as a hobbyist, you go straight to like a phone, like a full frame camera, you won't appreciate the change because you have no benchmark with. So you just feel like, oh, okay, these are the limitations, but it shouldn't have. But if you use like a really lousy camera, like a point and shoot, like those Uncle Joe kind of point and shoot camera that can zoom, super zoom, like just if you use that and you go straight to that, you will appreciate the difference. Like you really will appreciate how much this helps you in creation. And I always tell my peers around me in terms of the creative digital space, if your equipment stops you from creating or really give you a resistance, like not feel like doing it because of weight or size or basically very rigid or something, then that equipment shouldn't be spent on, because that will stop you from creation. I feel like as a creator, for business, or is it for creation, or is it just for creative purpose, you shouldn't have that mindset, or try to eliminate as much as you can, because the moment you have this kind of mentality, you'll never create. And I think the moment you stop creating, I think that's the end for you as a creator. You cannot wait until the point where your client needs you to create, then you create, because by the time you create that, right, it's too late. Either create your own style shoot, or get someone to help you, ask a friend to be a volunteer or something to be able to help you with this particular maybe a fun fair project or something. Do something that interests you, pick your interest, to be able to use it on site. Then whatever you want to try, whatever crazy thing that you want to do with the camera, or basically a certain style of shooting, you want to try different ways, you want to try documentary, for example, please do so, because it's like within your control. Everyone listens to you. Because if you're going to bring that kind of idea into a client's project without kind of fairly testing how viable the whole thing is, you may stand a chance to fail, and you can not fail on your client's project. You just can't tell them that, oh, sorry, it failed. You have to be the one that be liable with it. So my advice is to try out first. That means the moment you get a camera, yes, it might be a bit risky for me to go straight to full frame, knowing there's a job coming in. But beforehand, I watched like hours and hours of videos to be able to understand. And plus, I already used Sony system before, so changing it, the setting is no biggie. It's just maybe some of the buttons and the dials are misplaced, or I would say different from the APS-C camera. Yeah, so that's my thought for APS-C. Okay, so yeah, this is more or less the life update for weddings, techie stuff, business stuff, corporate stuff, education. I feel like I managed to kind of summarize everything within this half an hour. I just want to keep it like lighthearted and more of like a chatty session. Because it's long overdue. I've been doing this podcasting for like the past a year plus. I think it's 1 year old already. 1 year and 2 months old. And it deserves some like slack time, I would say. It shouldn't be just all fanfare and gas and stuff. Yes, it does, and I hope it really helped in terms of the technical side. But this is really a lifestyle podcast. It's not really like a super techy educational podcast. I mean, if it is, then there will be a cost for it. And yeah, if you want to learn more in terms of like video marketing and stuff, really in depth, please direct message me. Because I would actually be able to help you much quickly than you listening and waiting for the right answer. Partly also because I need to know exactly what your problem is and be able for me to kind of like navigate with you exactly what problem you have. Then I can kind of do it in a podcast way, or maybe even have a Q&A session with you. And that's why I wanted to do a Q&A session, to really understand where my followers or where my listeners are from and what are the problems they really have. Knowing you guys are having issue, then I'll be able to solve it without me guessing what exactly your problem is. So if you really have an issue, please drop in the comments, or just go to my Instagram or my Facebook. Let me know. Just type in what are the questions that you have. I will be very glad to help you answer that question. And yeah, okay. I'm also looking for more guests. So if you have any guests that you would want me to talk things about, have a chat with them or something, just let me know who. I will definitely want to. If you can pull the strings for me, that's even better. I will be able to have a conversation with them and talk to them, and maybe they could solve a problem that you have, or maybe it's just a very interesting character, or if they are in the creative and the media industry, that would be even better. Because I really want to know more media like-minded individuals that share their thoughts. And about talking about creative individuals, next week I'll actually have another guest. They are called Sloth Creative. They are really good at crafting stories with their very unique set of skills. I don't tell you exactly what it is, but I feel that if you are listening to this episode, do check them out on Instagram, Sloth Creative. I have no idea what their names, because it's like maybe 2 or 3 guys that's working on that particular company. But I have yet to know what their name was. I just kind of dropped them their DM on their Instagram and just say, hey, you guys really rock with your content. Please continue to do so. I would love to invite you. And that's how I got them. So one golden tip I think for this particular episode is take this chance to, every time you find people that are interesting, that could value add, don't mind yourself and just write to them. Be it a direct message, voice message, video message, whatever it is. Spend some time to talk to these people. I feel that reaching out when you need help, or even if you want to give help, voicing out to them is much better than just waiting for things to happen, because you're just gonna be lazy and you want to be hopeful, but then you're not doing anything. How can you achieve anything if you are so quiet? Yeah, so even if you're an introvert like me, please just write to them. Even if you can't appear on screen, just kind of write to them. Just tell them that their work is good, that you want to find out more, if they could be able to blah blah blah, whichever things that you are trying to do. Yeah, so I hope that helps. It's really a very chill session. I'm not gonna dwell in too much. Just like this whole podcast is about less than half an hour. Because I just really want to chat with you guys. Just having a chit chat. And having a solo is quite zen. I feel that I can just share my thoughts. If you feel that there's anything that I could improve on this podcast, do let me know also, because it's really fun to always have podcast sessions and maybe spend part of your morning with you. Like I believe whoever that's listening right now or watching right now, you are watching it while you are doing something. I'm just a voice for your entertainment, and if you feel that I help you, do say hi to me and say, I'm just waving right now and just tell you, hey, welcome to this podcast. Just want to make you more welcomed. This podcast it's very hard for this podcast to die, because it's gonna be on and on and on and on, and sharing ideas and being creative. That's why it's called the Creative Podcast. Being creative doesn't mean you must be a creative in the media industry. You can be creative for your business. You can be creative for your lifestyle. It can be creative for your media or your creative side of things. So it's anything under the sun. So it's really, really lifestyle based. If you need help, or if you need certain things to be covered, in terms of ways of video marketing, next few weeks I'll be planning for that. Let me know what exactly your pain point is. I'll do a podcast for that. If you have any issues in terms of business, how you want to handle business, how you can talk to your associates, or how to talk to clients, if you're not sure about this kind of thing, also do let me know. It's kind of nice to share my own perspective on how I communicate with clients, how do I gain long-term contracts, how do I gain long-term jobs with clients. I'm not the best, but I did make it work in some part of my clients, that I got some long-term contracts, so that's why I'm not really struggling. Whatever comes into the sales right now is really a bonus. So weddings is peaking right now. So with my long-term contracts right now, my income is really very stable, at least for the next 3 months. So knowing that, it's really give you a financial freedom. It's really an ease in my heart to know that, okay, I'm very stable. In fact, I'm earning money for the next 3 months. I don't know how you feel about it. I feel that financial freedom is the only freedom that you can't have when you are an entrepreneur or solopreneur. It's not a long-term thing. That means, that's why I didn't tell you it's only 3 months, because there's no way to know whether 6 months later you still have job. Really depends. If it's this year, COVID, suddenly just no job out of nowhere, and the whole landscape changed. So you have to get used to, if you're a solopreneur and you just started, or if you're a freelancer, you have to know that your financial freedom is not permanent. It could be permanent for this next 2 months, but it's not going to be permanent for sure, because it's always a question mark. No one can tell you exactly when you'll get a next sale. So you have to shake off that feeling. I know, no matter how hard you try, right, this feeling is not going to be gone. It's going to be stick to you all the way until the time when you give up your business. That's how you know whether you are able to be fit in as an entrepreneur or a business owner, because I think that's the fun and challenging part, right? Where you don't know when is it, then maybe you sign a deal the next day, you just feel so excited. But after a while, it's really just part and parcel. Just do your job well. It's not just about creative work. I feel that the PR and the human thing is also important. Oh, I'm just rambling. There's too many things that I want to share. I think I will really go deep down with all these small little intricate things, and I'll just share my thoughts. I would want to find out about you guys more, but I'm just gonna post whatever I feel that I could value add on, and that's about it. So really thank you for you guys to join me on this particular episode. I'll see you on the same time, same day, I hope. I think I'll be posting this on Tuesday. So if you are listening on Tuesday, welcome. If you are listening to a rerun, then so be it. So I'll see you next time. Bye.